Welcome to Morning Glory Farmstead. My name is Lolly, and this channel is all about gardening, animals, and nature. All right, guys, today is about getting the baby chicks out of my bathroom for the most part and outside into an area that is safe. Now, I know I'm not going to be able to get it all done today, but I at least want them to start hanging out outside during the day. Y'all, they are no longer in the baby pool in the bathroom. They're walking around my bathroom, so this is not going to work. So what I'm thinking is that they're about at the age where they don't need the heat lamp anymore, and so I might be able to let them play outside like kids and then come in and sleep for the night without the light. And that way they're not all over the bathroom. Come morning time, I'll get them outside again. I just have to wait until the nights start warming up a little bit. Good morning. Good morning. Those are organic blueberries. We'll do grapes next time. I'll cut them in half for you because they're so big. Okay? Seriously? Come on. Oh, good girl. Good girl. All done. All done. Is it good? That's a good girl. Good girl. Now, how many Berkey's coming by because you gotta let her eat? Okay, so my plan for today is to get as far as I can so that I can at least get the chicks out there. But I'm probably not going to get them out there today. So what I'll do is I'll record this, and then the next day I'll get some footage of the chicks in there and tag that on to the end of this video. Now here's what we had. We had some hardware cloth and some T-posts and zip ties and a mallet and things like that. I've got some other stuff that's not showing here, some different sizes. They didn't have the size of the hardware cloth that we needed. We called several places, they were out. I can't do cattle panel and all that because even though I pretend my Pilot is a truck and I pretend Dad's car is a tractor, y'all, we would have to rent something every time we did a project to get all that stuff here. Those cattle panels do not fit in the vehicles. And believe me, we've tried. That's how I know. And I don't want to do that again. By the way, every time we do a project with fencing, can I just say, that's a nightmare. Did you see how it looked like he was catching a fish that was fighting? They're really hard to get undone because they've got a wire around it so that it doesn't come apart. And so you got to sit there and mess with that wire forever. And if y'all watch where I built my grow bag table, I had the same issue with that hardware cloth. Trying to get that wire undone. It wants to roll back up and bite you because the edges are really sharp. And I don't like to wear gloves because I don't work very well that way. Dad always does. But I'm always ended up getting cut and scraped and everything else. So it really does help to have two people so that you can manhandle that stuff and make it do what you want it to do. I used to say you could save it, use it for another project because I thought it was sturdy because it took so long to get it off. But the minute you try to use it for a project, it breaks within 2 or 3 seconds. Funny how that happens. Now, since none of the local stores had the size of the hardware cloth that we wanted, we're gonna make the run a little bit smaller, but I think it'll be okay because it's really only gonna be 5 or 6 bantam chickens who live in here permanently. The other chickens are gonna go with the larger chickens on the other side once they're of age, and it's safe to mix the flocks. So I think this will be plenty of room for the tiny chickens that are going to live over here. Now, the side of each part of the run will be 20 feet, and then we're going to double up and zip tie 2 of the hardware cloths together to get 72 inches in height. Now, eventually I'll have to cover the entire top because snakes do climb and they can easily get over the fence, and then also I've got hawks around here on the daily trying to see what easy target they can find because I feed so many birds. Usually I'm around here and I can tell when the birds start making certain noises or they're flying away really fast. You hear a lot of commotion outside, and I just kind of go outside and clap my hands, and it startles the hawk and it flies away. But, you know, I want to make sure that if I have to run an errand or something that I'm not going to have that issue with these tiny bantams. Now, once we get the sides up and it's actually enclosed, there's still some alterations that I want to make just because we're dealing with bantams over here. And part of it is related to this coop, and I'll show you that in the next video. Every time I do a project that uses zip ties, it uses a ton of them, and I always wish that I had been the one to invent the zip tie. I can't even imagine how much money they made when they invented that. I spent the majority of the day hunched over like that, almost like my chickens, where I told y'all when they were baby chicks, when they're about to fall asleep, at any moment, they just start leaning forward and look like they're going to fall over on their head. That's pretty much how I was looking most of today. Look how low my head is to the ground there, y'all. I don't know how I didn't fall over and do a somersault. All right, lifting my hands as a sign of victory. I have tamed the beast. Y'all, if you've watched my channel, you know I have a sense of humor and I'm not afraid to use it. I'm about to do a chicken run hair commercial. Watch this. I was like, wait, I can slow that down. Look at this. Woohoo! I had fun with that. You know, it just reminded me of all growing up. Every shampoo commercial had some model flipping her hair up like that's all women do. That's my chicken run shampoo commercial. In case y'all are new to this channel or just wondering what the heck is going on with that dress and those pants that I'm wearing, I have lymphedema and the left side of my body from the waist down is much larger than the right side. And I buy my clothes online because I don't like to go anywhere and I don't try anything on. And I vacillate between sizes depending on who makes it. And so I never know what I'm going to get. And honestly, I don't care to return stuff. So if it can fit on this body, then I just wear it. I like to be comfortable. I don't worry about it. I have to wear the pants every single day because they're the only ones that don't bother my skin with my health condition. And so I just have several pairs of the same pants. And I usually wear a really long shirt just to cover up my leg a little bit when I'm out in public because people are always asking me questions about it. And so even though I'm open about it, it's just not something I want to spend all my time on, y'all. I think that shouldn't go any shorter because we got to do a whole nother one up here.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty positive person and I like to focus on the healthy and the beautiful aspects of life, even though I have to deal with a very difficult situation regarding my health. So there's no telling what y'all will see me in. You'll always see my black pants. I'm not supposed to be wearing flip-flops like I am in this video and the last one, but my leg and foot have gotten so big that I can't wear my shoes anymore, and they don't make any that are wide enough to fit around kind of like the ankle part, the lower ankle right where my foot is. And so I'm having to wear these flip-flops right now because I can get my foot in them. But anyway, the point is I don't really care what I look like as far as clothes go. I just like to be comfortable. And so if I've spent money on it and it comes looking like that, where it's not really a shirt, you know, it looks shorter than that on the site that I was looking at. And so I got it, but I'm not worried about it. But anyway, if y'all are wondering, that's why. So y'all, this was really difficult. I have that hard red clay, as you can see in the chicken area, and Dad and I had a really hard time hammering these in. We had to keep taking turns, and right here, the hardware cloth actually got stuck on the base of the T-post, and so it wasn't going in, it was just tearing up the hardware cloth, so we had to get that undone. Then we decided after that to go take a break, and so I went in, I drank a ton of water. If y'all have watched my other videos, you know I love coffee, so as hot as it was, and I was drenched, y'all. I was sweating so bad it was going into my eyes, and I still came out with my espresso. It's organic, and I always put my organic half and half and my organic milk in it, and it was so good. It's just one of those things that I love no matter what the temperature is. All this stuff took us hours, and I always laugh because I speed up all the footage, but if y'all could see how slow we were in real life, putzing around, barely taking steps, it seems like sometimes. I'm like, thank goodness we can speed this stuff up. I thought it was supposed to rain all day today.
Yeah, I thought we did something.
I was enjoying that cloud cover.
Yeah, don't blame
Now, the beautiful sun has come out.
you. Yeah.
You want to come do this pole? This is not a very big area, but it's only going to be like 5 of those little chickens. All right, so let's pull it all the way over as far as we can get it. Wait, let me line it up. And y'all don't know how many bloopers you missed. My camera's not always facing the right way, but there's a lot of times that we're tripping over stuff or falling or whatever. I mean, there's so much stuff on the ground back there, and my left leg doesn't bend very well, so I fall quite a bit just because I think I've picked it up enough, but it's so heavy that I haven't, and so I stumble. And with Dad and I working in a congested area with all kind of stuff all over the ground, one of us is almost always tripping or bumping something about to fall. And Dad dropped that mallet, I don't know how many times. I hit my own hand with it one time and bruised my knuckle instantly. Y'all, that mallet is a metal one and it's really heavy. And I swung it too hard. It kind of went off the post, hit my knuckle, turned blue instantly, and then later Dad was doing something and swung the mallet around and hit right on the same spot where I had already bruised my knuckle. So that felt real nice. Looks like Dad's taking up knitting. It looks like you're sitting in there doing some kind of like needlework, fine needlework. Oh, it's needlework, all right. That's why I cut my finger. And there was a few times Dad was pulling on the fencing and by accident let go and it bonked me in the head when we were working on the second layer. So I told him, I said, look, I'm always telling people how nice you are, but you're getting abusive in your old age. Oh, and I've got my hair down because I've had headaches recently, and so I didn't want to put it up or have the hat on, and so that's adding to the heat as well. So that was a whole nother dimension of hot. All right, we're starting to get delirious now, and Dad's putting his whole body into this thing. I'll be here all day with that tip tap, Dad. Look, that's like someone playing the church bells or something. Come on, we got to destroy this thing. Don't hit me in the head. And y'all can't see it, but he was smiling and laughing and looked just like his mom. You just look like your mom. The way you smile looks just like her. Oh my gosh. Is it going in? Y'all, our shoulders and arms and wrists are like rubber at this point. We keep trying it left-handed too, which is even more dangerous. Okay, that's good. You flatten the top out real nice. Yeah. Okay. Y'all, I don't usually ask this, but I'm getting brave in my old age. I would really appreciate it if y'all hit the notification bell, if you would share my channel on your social media, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Anything you can do would really help my channel because it is fairly young and it really helps the algorithm know who to push it out to, and it'll push it out to more people if you guys are hitting the thumbs up for me. Thank you. Oh, y'all, this is so me. I'm sitting here wiping the sweat that's dripping into my eye because my eye is burning so bad. And then I turn around and I get some hot coffee. Oh, y'all, that footstool that we were using to stand on is an accident waiting to happen because this ground is not level and we're on an incline. And if I fall, that means Dad is going down too. We're both going to be in trouble. And let's not forget me trying to get on the footstool. I can't even bend my left leg like I'm supposed to. So I'm trying to hold on to the pole or Dad or something and get up on that stool. I have to step with my right leg and kind of pull my left leg up because it's so heavy. Y'all, I laugh so hard at myself sometimes when I'm editing these videos. I was watching myself hammer and notice how it kept getting slower and slower in each little frame. Oh, it was like Jello. Y'all, if Mom was here, she would always say something about Dad's hat or something about his hair. She would notice everything. So I'm about to tell him that his hat is crooked, and if Mom was here, she would have said something, but I don't know if y'all can hear it. Your hat's crooked. If Mom was here, she would get you. Oh, George, fix your hat.
A lot of things Mom will give me over.
I can always hear her voice.
Yeah.
Look, now if I could just move.
Yeah.
I was able to get my big leg up onto the footstool and rest it for a second, but then I couldn't get it down without losing my shoe. So we're making some good progress. We're almost done with the first level, and then we'll be able to start the second one. But I think that we're gonna do the tarp before we start the second one. But here, I had a bug that flew into my hair and I couldn't get it out. I can't get him out. Come on, bug. You got to go. Go on. Whew. Okay, so the point of this tarp is to help with shade, rain, snow, whatever. But I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm trying to put it over the coop itself so that if I have to go out in the rain and collect eggs or it's snowing or whatever, that's going to give me some protection from the elements as well and just give them a bigger area. So if they're under their coop and they walk out from under that, there's still some shade, but they're going to have a lot of sun around the edges if they want to do some dust bathing or just get warm from the sun. But the problem I think I'm going to have, because I had a horse shelter before that did this, and it was supposed to be heavy duty. I spent several $100s on it, and it just blew up like a parachute. It had a huge steel frame. It was staked into the ground really well, and the wind just tore it up out here. I also had a shade cloth that I hooked to some 4-foot T-posts, and it snapped those T-posts in half when the wind blew. So lots of wind out here. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I want to try it. This is kind of a heavy duty tarp, and we're going to attach it to these 8-foot T-posts on the part where I have to go under it to do the work on the coop area. And then we're going to use some 6-foot T-posts so that it kind of slants a little bit so that rain and things like that can kind of roll off and not just sit in it and make puddles. But I'm not sure how this is going to go. You know, no matter how we pulled it, we couldn't get it right. It wasn't even. And I don't know if it's just because the ground is on an incline. I wouldn't think that would make a difference, but we just couldn't figure it out. The other thing we did was we put these posts in and then had to take them out because we were kind of measuring where we thought it should go, but then there was no hole or grommet or anything to latch it onto, and I wasn't about to go to the store to get something to make some more holes in there. So we had to take that T-post out and redo it so that we could actually get a zip tie through the hole and then around the T-post. Now the tarp's not going to go down on the T-post, I don't think, but it could definitely come up and off. It's like we need some kind of clamp at the top to keep it from sliding off with a really strong storm. I think what I may have to do, if there's a really strong storm coming, and I know ahead of time, like from hurricanes or whatever, because we get a lot of wind, I may just have to come cut those zip ties and kind of lay it down, put some cinder blocks on it or something until the storm passes, and then just take a couple zip ties and put it back up. I really don't want the whole thing to rip. So we'll just have to watch the weather. My grandkids call me the weathergram because I'm always looking at the weather. I find it fascinating. So we should be okay. But even with those 8-foot posts, it was just settling down in the middle. We need to get more posts. We didn't have enough. So we're kind of probably 3 or 4 shy of what we should have to really hold it up in the center. So I need some 8-foot posts, and I need to put something on top of them so that the T-post doesn't actually rip the tarp or go through it. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I've got a lot left to do in this area, like I said, once we're done today. But this will be good enough to at least get the chicks outside the bathroom for a while. Y'all, Dad's about to tell me that we messed up on the simple math of what we needed to do 2 levels of the same thing on all 4 sides, and we didn't realize it, neither one of us. Seriously? I thought we had it.
We bought enough to go 20 by 20 one time.
Oh my gosh. I thought we had it. Oh my gosh.
And underneath the wires and all, we have to staple them down.
Staple them? Somebody's getting tired.
Yeah.
Look, you're supposed to be under the shade. Look, you don't want to clean the tarp with your head. Look. Clean the tarp with your head. You need something under there. You want to grab that footstool, and I need the hammer too, which is over here. Sometimes I bet Dad regrets having 2 good feet. I'm just trying not to move this because I've got it, I think, where it needs to be. I think. Okay, here's where I actually cried with laughter. I cried. I was laughing so hard watching this. First of all, the whole posture, the dress, the arm flailing like a rubber chicken because I am so exhausted. I tried it with my left hand, and Dad's like, well, I used to be left-handed, but they made me change to my right, so I can't do it either. Look at that. Ridiculous. It's not doing a thing. That whole scenario is hilarious. And I just sat here and cried. I laughed so hard watching that. Do y'all think they would have hired me to help build the pyramids? Look at that. I can't even believe I got that on camera, but y'all know I'm not going to delete it because it's just too funny. Oh my gosh. I know people edit things out that they don't want other people to see, but I told y'all I think I'm good material. I do not mind laughing at myself. Oh my word. And then Dad had to start putting his whole body into it. And leaning forward. It's going.
I can hit it right.
Sheer exhaustion trying to get our arms to do it. Okay, how does it feel? Okay, that should be fine. It's just the wire. It's not like anything's going to parachute. Oh, look, I'll come out in the morning and this whole thing will be lifted up off these T-posts. Oh gosh, Dad, you and that hammer. Oh my gosh. Is this the right one? Yeah. Y'all, Pops just dropped the hammer again. All right, so we're about to knock out the second level, and by knockout, I mean, it's going to knock us out, taking another couple hours. It went really fast this time, actually, with Dad helping. I say really fast. It went faster. And I told him he could leave at this point because it was starting to get cooler. We weren't in the worst part of the day anymore. And I was like, I can just finish it up on my own. Yeah, right. Because I would have had to walk in and out of this thing every time I wanted to do a zip tie. So having him on the inside helped. I really wasn't thinking it through when I told him he could leave. So thank goodness he didn't, because I would stick it through and then he would stick it back through to me on the other side so I could lock up that zip tie since we're connecting the two levels. But I would have had to walk all the way around and inside just to get the zip tie and then walk all the way back around, because you can't get your hands through there. So that would have been a nightmare. And y'all know I can't take that many steps. So I was so glad that he was here. Now here's what we're looking at, the finished product for today. I got to cut all these zip ties. We got to get a door. I got to stake the bottom. I got to get more T-posts for the center. I got some adjustments I want to make to the coop for these little tiny birds. But it is usable right now for them to just come and hang out. So I am super stoked about this. And I have some really cute footage that I'm going to show you guys. And you know, my whole idea about getting them out there during the day and then they could come sleep at night, well, they ended up being out there about an hour and their mouths were open and I had to take them in again. I can see all of this area from the house, so I can constantly check for predators and things, just keep an eye on these little ones. So really stoked about this area, and we made a ton of progress today and had lots of laughs in the middle of our misery from the heat and hard work. All right, time for some really cute footage of the chicks out here for the first time and getting used to such a big space. Okay, so I grabbed a couple eggs first, and now I'm about to go get all of the chicks out of the bathroom. Don't worry, I'm going to get some much better footage as soon as I get them all in here and get everything set up. Okay, so I'm gonna get their food and water and make them a little dust bath. Try to get them away from that area that has the sun, because although that's great, they don't need it today. So I'm gonna kind of run them over this way. But you'll see that they really start to spread out and have a good time in here if you watch for just 2 or 3 minutes even. In fact, some of them started kind of fluttering around like they were trying to see if they could fly. It was really cute. Right now, I'm just trying to get them to see where their water and food are. I'm trying to get it more in the shade and away from the sun because it's a pretty warm day today. They are doing so well in this environment, and they're really spreading out and having a good time. And you'll see in just a couple minutes how wonderfully they do with the dirt bath, and I think they're going to really enjoy that once they figure out what it's for. Now, I had already seen them trying to take a dust bath over near the fence. It is just instinctive. And that's why I put that little tray with the sand and the dirt mixed together, because I think they're going to really enjoy that. Their markings are beautiful, guys. They have totally changed since they've hatched, and so I still haven't named them. I'm waiting, except for Miracle and Bootsy. We talked about those in the past, but they are just precious, and I love them. I am so excited to have such a beautiful flock, and I cannot wait to see the eggs. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out today and sharing in the adventures with me and Pops, and also with these beautiful new chicks in their lovely area. I'll see you real soon in the next video, and until then, y'all have a great couple of days. Bye-bye.